So Chinook first. Hiaska mich leid, ich lamiai pi yakatanas. Oops.
Sorry about that. Just a moment.
Yeah, that happens. Okok tenas hluchman kwanesem yakach ladwa mamuk kamas. Oh, yeah, kamas. Kwanesem spos yaka ko kilapai ko pa hiaska house alda yaka kuk okok kamas. Ala yaka pahloch kopa yaka chich spos makmak. Pi alda kanamax tlaska makmak. Tumala wacht yaka hladwa mamok kamas. Kwanasam spos yaka okilapai kopa hlaska house. Alda yaka pahloch kopa opo okok yaka chich spos makmak. Kwanasam kakwa yakamamuk. So this is the traditional story beginning with Hlaska Mithleit. There they were, there they lived, one old lady and her grandchild, and that girl, so we know it's granddaughter, uh, that girl, she always went to get the camas and to gather camas roots. And always when, I think suppose corresponds to when she arrived, back, returned to their house, she would cook that kamas. Then she gave, she gave it, the kamas food, to her grandmother to eat. And then they together, they would both eat it. Tomorrow, yeah, I looked it up, that it's not literally tomorrow. So tomorrow, on the next day, again, she went, kamas digging, kamas collecting. And always when she returned home, well, it's always their house, the grandmother's and her house. She then gave it to her grandmother to eat, and it was always like this she did. Right?
Okay, alta nega hayunanich piwawa ogog. Tlaska mitleid ich tlamiai pi yaka danas. Okok tenas klutchman quanasum yaka tlatwa mamuk kamas. Quanasum spus yaka ok elabai kopaslaska house alda yaka cook okok kamas. Alta yaka patlach kopa yaka chich spus makmak. Pi alta kanamax tlaska makmak. Damala wacht yaka tlatwa mamuk kamas. Guanasum spus yaka ok elabai kopaslaska house. Alta yaka patlach kopa okok yaka chich spus makmak. Guanasum kakwa yaka mamuk. And I have very little to add to the translation, but I'll, do a running translation myself. They lived there, one certain old lady and her grandchild. That girl always went to dig camas. Whenever she arrived back at their house, then she would cook that camas. Then she would give it to her grandmother to eat, and then they would eat together. The next day, again, she would go digging camas. Always when she or whenever she arrived back at their house, then she would give it to that grandmother of hers to eat. It was always like this that she did. Always thus did she do. The next paragraph, well, look at that. Okay, I think I need to do something about the page break first off. And see if we can highlight the entire paragraph. You know, that's just an enormous paragraph, according to the editors, Melville Jacobs decisions. How about we just do this much here for the next reader? Clucksta Dicky. Who wants it?
I could. Alta ichtan o kuklamiai yaka hayu mamutsush kanawe ikta yaka hayu mamaklum ilusaya kapasaska paya piaka tlap okuk kamaskin kako hayas yaka mamak mitlait kapa yaka ni kapit hayas kapa yaka ni Alta yaka tantam o kuklamiai oh alta naika kamtaks kakwa yaka okuk tennis tlutman. Kanoe okuk tennis kamas yaka patlach naika pi alta yaka hayu mukmuk kanoe okuk hayas kamas. Alta wiksea polakli yaka klo okuk tennis tlutman. Yaka mamuk paya yaka cook okuk kamas. Suppose chako paya okuk alta yaka patlach kapa yaka chich suppose mukmuk. So I guess that is this one day, this grandmother, she had Hayamama Tsush, like she'd already made everything good, I guess.
Hayu is like, yeah, the ing form of the verb. So she was something ing.
Okay, she was, I think, tidying everything.
Ah.
And she was sweeping.
Mm-hmm.
And not far from her fire. And she found this camiskin. Like a lot.
Kakwahayas. Kakwahayas. I tried to put an accent mark on it as a bit of a clue. You know, not Kakwahayas, like a big one or something, but it said Kakwahayas. Kakwahayas.
Kakwahayas being like a little bit? Or
Kakwa.
Oh, this much. Ah, okay. This much. However big you want to make the gesture.
Big, yeah.
She sat down on her knee. Kapit hayas kapiyakani. So
she put
there
it,
on her knee.
Silent it on her knee.
Ah, okay.
It, kopayaka, knee.
Yeah. And now she thought, this grandmother, oh, now I understand. Like this. Oh, okay.
Here's where I'm not sure some of my commas are helpful as intended. But like when we have reverse word order from English,
right.
Sometimes I use a comma. So kakwayaka, you could think of it without the comma.
Oh, okay.
Because it really is just a phrase.
It's this way to this girl?
Yeah, or
she
another
has
way to
done
say
it
the
like
same
this.
thing is yaka kagwa.
Or she is like this. This girl. All of this little camas that she has given me, and now she has a lot to eat, or always has a lot to eat of all of this camas. And now it was not far from night, it was evening, and she arrived, this girl. She made a fire and she cooked this camas. When she made a fire. This she gave to her grandmother to eat.
Nice. Thank you. It's so good to hear people really having a good handle on Chinookwawa. Good that there's more and more of you too. Okay, yeah, I will read through that as well. Alda ihsan okok lamiai yaka hayumamuk klush kanawayekta yaka hayumamuk bloom halo sayak opatlaska baya biyaka tlapokar kamaskin kakwahayas yaka mamuk mitlite kopayaka ni kopahayas kopayaka ni Alda yaka tamdamokok lamiai. Oh, Alda naka contacts. Kakwayaga, okok tennis sluchman. Kanwe okok tennis kamas yaka paslach naika, pialta yaka hayu makmak kanwe okok hayas kamas. Alta wake se apolikli, yaka okok tennis sluchman, yaka mamuk baya, yaka cook okok kamas, spos chakubaya, okok. Alta yaka paslach kopa yaka chich spos makmak. So then one day, that old lady, she was tidying up. She was cleaning up everything. She was sweeping not far from their fireplace, and she found this camas skin, yay big, kakwahayas, so big. She put silent it, on her knee, just so big, just big enough, just the size of her knee, you see. Kopit hayas, just big for her knee. So just big enough to sort of cover her kneecap. The camas skin, that is. Then she thought, that old lady did, oh, now I know. She's like that girl is. All these little camas, all those little camas she gives to me, but then she is eating all those big camas. Then, when it was almost night, she arrived, that girl did. She built a fire. She cooked those camas. When they, inanimate things, silent subject, no pronoun, when they got cooked, when they were ready, chakupaya, those things, then she gave them, silent, inanimate them, to her grandma to eat. And then the rest of this paragraph goes to the next willing reader.
I'll try it.
Mm-hmm.
Alta yaka Salix pi hilo yaka tiki makmak. Leli alta tlaska tlatawa musum. Chaco tamala alta white yaka tlatawa mamuk kamas. Weeks saya polaki yaka. When you've got the two commas there after the O, how do you express that?
Yeah, so the first of those marks makes a popping sound out of the back K. It's like a Q.
Yeah.
In new channels, right? So popping Q. Yeah, the last apostrophe there is it's a glottal stop. Okay. So after a vowel, it's a glottal stop. So all together.
O ilape oko yaka chich yaka musum yaka mamuk wam yaka bak yaka tum tum ok tanas tluchman clonus, yaka sick, nika chich, yaka coke o coke, kamas alta white, yaka patlach copa okok, yaka chich, spos makmak. Okok, lamaya, yaka silix, hio, yaka tiki makmak, chaco sun, alta white, yaka Tlatwa Okok Tennis Klutschman. And then I just need a reminder, what is the word musum?
Sleep.
Sleep.
In fact, I could switch it out with the word sleep here, which was common in BC Chinokwawa.
So, and then what is the word salix?
Salix is angry. It can also mean to fight.
Okay, so the grandmother's now a little bit angry because she didn't get to eat the big ones.
So
And
P here is just and. So
and
now she was angry and she didn't
eat. So she didn't eat.
Yeah, she didn't feel like eating.
She didn't feel like eating kind of anymore after that. And then
Layli.
Then she's gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, after a long time. Layli.
So after a long time, she goes to sleep. And what is the word tamala?
That's from English. Tamala.
Tamala.
Talk to you, Tamala.
Oh. So then tomorrow they're going to make the camas again.
Yeah, she went digging camas again. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm missing a couple of words in here, so I'm not sure. So I'll just leave it at that, I think.
Okay, I'll go over it then now. Then she, oh, sorry, I should read through it too. Alta yaka salix, pi helu yaka tiki mukmuk, leli alta slaska slatwa musum, or slaska slatwa sleep. Chago tamala alta wuch yaka slatwa mamuk kamas. Wixea polikli yaka ok elabai. Ukuk yaka chich yaka musum, yaka mamuk wam yaka vak. Yaka tumtum ukuk tena sluchman, bonus yaka sik naka chich. Yaka cook okuk kamas, alta wucht yaka patlach, kop okuk yaka chich, spos mukmuk. Okuk lami yaka salix, halo yaka tiki mukmuk. Jaka san, alta wucht yaka slatwa okuk tena sluchman. And so what we have here is, kind of a repeated statement of action. It's really traditional, Northwest way to tell a story, where, proverbially you kind of say things 4 times.
That's what I thought was probably kind of happening. But I don't have enough experience with the storytelling to pick it apart. Yeah, I don't know the pattern yet.
It's repetitious for sure,
yeah.
Which is really good in the case of Chinokwawa, as we always say. The more background that you lay out, the more context that you set up, the easier it is to follow the flow where the story's going to go. And so this here is saying, starting at that 3, then she was angry, the grandma was, and she didn't want to eat, or she didn't feel like eating. Layli, so Layli Alta, after a long time, then they went to sleep. When it got to be morning, then again she went to dig camas. That's obviously the girl. Almost near nighttime, she arrived back. that grandmother of hers, she was sleeping. She was warming her back at the fire. She thought, that girl did, maybe she's sick, my grandma. She cooked that camas. Then again, she gave it, silent it, to that grandma of hers to eat. That old lady, she was mad. She didn't want to eat. Come the sun, at sunrise, then again, she went. That girl did. And I will repeat the observation. It's fine in BC, Chinukwawa, to say the word sleep rather than musum. The word sleep was very common, and for some folks, musum was not a nice word. Okay, here's a reasonable size paragraph next. If somebody would like to grab that.
I'll try this one. Alta o kuk lamaye yak klatwa kupa stick, yak klatwa nanich kaha mitlight highest lagom stick, yak up it highest stick, pat lagom. Alta yaka mamupaya, chako klahani, okuk lagom, chako kanawe kanamakst, ka okuk lagom yaka kuli kopa ilihi. Alta yaka wawa okuk lamaye, alta maika, chako skukum, piyaka wawa yaka, naika tanas yaka patlach naika okuk late tennis kamas, piyaka makmak kanawe okuk hayas kamas. Alta yaka kilipai, yaka o kopa house, alta yaka musum, yaka mamuk wam yaka back. So then this old lady, she went out to the forest. She went to see where were lots of pitch sticks with sap on them. She took a big stick full of sap, full of pitch. Then she made a fire. She okay. So she took the sticks of pitch and
so the pitch came out.
Okay.
I'm gonna alter the punctuation right there and see if that is any help.
That does help a bit, yeah. All right. Came out. All of the pitch came out all together. From or this pitch, it ran out onto the ground. Then she said, this old lady, now you become a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And she said to it, presumably the monster, my grandchild, she gives me this little bit of kamas, but she eats everything, or she eats all of the big kamas.
Mm-hmm.
Then she returned. She arrived at her house. Then she slept, and she warmed her back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, hayamasi. Alta ukuk lamia yaka slatwa kopa stick. Yaka slatwa nanich kach mesleit hayas lagom stick. Yaka klap echt hayas stick pat lagom. Alta yaka mamuk paya. Chako slachni ukuk lagom. Chako kanui kanamakst. Kach ukuk lagom yaka kuli kopa ilihi. Alta yaka wawa okuklamiai. Alta maika chakoskukum. Piyaka wawa yaka. Ika danas yaka patlach naika okukle tanas kamas. Piyaka mak kanu yokok hayas kamas. Alta yaka kelapai. Yaka koko bahaus. Alta yaka musum. Yaka mamukwam yaka back. So then that old lady, she went to the forest. She went to see where there were big fir trees, pitch trees. And that's typical, or sorry, yeah, like a Douglas fir, lagom stick. She found one big stick full of pitch. Then she built a fire, and it came out, that pitch did. It came all together. It gathered together or pooled together where that pitch ran out or ran on the ground. Then she said, that old lady did, "Now you become a monster." And she said to it, suddenly alive, so suddenly it is Yaka, to the monster, "My grandchild, she gives me those really small camas, and she eats all of those big camas." And then she returned. She arrived or got back to the house. Then she slept, and she was warming her back. So that's the situation there. This would be kind of the equivalent amount of material here for the next person.
I can take it. Wiksaya polakle alta yaka kol okok tamas luchman. Yaka nanich okok yaka chich yaka musam yaka wawa kara maka sik. Wik ikta yaka wawa okok lamiai. Alta yaka cook okok yaka kamas. Alta yaka pashach kopa okok yaka chich spos makmak. Pihelo yaka tiki makmak. Yaka salax. Kopit echt yaka makmak. Can you remind me, what does chich mean again?
Grandma.
Grandma. So now it was not long until night. She arrived, that young woman. She saw a cook, yaka chich, yaka musum. She saw that her grandma was sleeping.
Mhm.
She said, "How are you? Are you sick?" Or something like that. She didn't say anything, the old lady. Alta yaka cook yaka kamas. Now she cooked her kamas, and she shared it, okok yaka, with her grandmother to eat. And there was nothing that she wanted to eat. She was upset. Kopit echt yaka makmak. She ate alone.
Yeah. Yeah, and incidentally, I like your wording here on pihelo yaka tiki makmak. Yeah, and there was nothing that she wanted to eat. That's quite good, quite sensitive to the structure of the language. That's an equally valid interpretation along with simple negative. Yeah, she didn't want to eat. It could, halo can also definitely be nothing. So there was nothing that she wanted to eat is also real good. Okay, I will read through that as well. Yeah. Week saya polakli alta yaka ko okuk tennis fluchman. Yaka nanich okuk yaka chich yaka musum. Yaka wawa kata. Micah sick. Wikik te yaka wawa okuk lamiai. Alta yaka cook okuk yaka kamas. Alta yaka paslich kopa okuk yaka chich spusmukmak. Pihelo yaka teki makmak. Yaka salix. Kopadich yaka mukmak. So it was almost night then. And she arrived, that girl did. She saw that grandma of hers, Okukyakachich, sleeping. She asked, "What's up?" Literally, how? How is it? But quite often, the word kata has this implication or suspicion of something negative going on. Which I won't go into at the moment, but kata often has a tinge of negative or wrongness about it. Anyway, so how are things, or how is it, or even why in the world? Anyway, are you sick? Nothing did she say, that old lady. Then she cooked those camas of hers, and she gave them to that old lady to eat, and she didn't want to eat, or there was nothing that she wanted to eat. She was angry. So alone, she ate. And that's the girl. This kind of contrastive voice intonation I'm showing with the capital letters. Well, gosh, we have to play with this page break again, since I made everything large type. I think there must be one of you who could handle that paragraph there.
I could take this one.
Mhm.
Tennessee alta onasik de yakakulan kakwa sayu alda yakatlush kamtux yakatamtam onas goltasik de nekakulan Tennessee alda yakwuk yakakulan alda onasik de Tennessee bias ayuwawa Gananich kopi yakachich yakamusam yakatamtam alki with lily naka wawayaka. Tennessee alda ksaya yawa mislay okokikta. Alda yaka chakwa okok tennis fluchman. Yaka fladwa kopa yaka chich kawawa chich. Lonasikta yaka kopa nasika. Yawa ksaya alta. Okok lamia yaka salix. So in a little bit, then going to stick to go on. Who knows what she heard? Kind of, it was kind of like a lot of talk. They're talking. All the flush contact. Then she flush contact understood. Like, well, you know, she thought, oh, well, maybe it's a worthless thing that I've heard. No, then a little bit later, again, she was listening. She listened. All the Glensick, the Dennis bias. Then who knows what?
Alda Naikawawa, Pialda Naikawawa, Tanasila Payas.
And then I say, Alda Naikawawa.
Alda Tennis Naikawawa. Alda.
Oh, okay. No, Alda Naikawawa. Okay. So then who knows what louder, so a little bit bigger, so a little louder talking. She looked towards her grandmother. She was sleeping. The girl thought, whoa. And eventually, in a little bit, I'm gonna talk to her. Say, okay. A little later, not far from there was that thing. Then she became scared. That girl, she went to her grandmother. She said, "Grandma, who knows what? It's coming. It's arrived. It's gotten to us. Here, not far now." The old lady, she was mad.
Making a couple notes for myself. Aha, hayumasi. Aha, tanas lele alta, onas hekta yaka kolan. Kakospus hayuawa. Alta yaka flushkamtax, yaka tumdum, o onas cultus hekta, nayaka kolan. Tanas lele alta, wucht yaka kolan. Alta, onas hekta, tanas ilap hayas, hayuawa. Yaka nanich kopika chich, yaka musum. Yaka tumtum, ashki wake lele naika wawa yaka. Tanas lele alta, wake saya yawa mitleid, oko kikta. Alta yaka jago quash oko tanas sludgman. Yaka flatwa kuba yaka chich, yaka wawa chich. Ona sekta yaka kok open the seka. Yakwa wake saya alta. Oko glemia yaka salix. So, kopa Boston wawa. Kopa English wawa. Tanas lele alta. So after a little bit, after a little long time then, something or other did she hear. It seemed like, or it sounded like some talking, some hayuwawa. And then she understood. I like phrasing. I like this phrasing here. To well understand. She thought, oh, maybe cultistic, maybe some worthless thing I'm hearing. In a little bit, then again she heard it with a silent it. And then something or other, a little louder, was talking. Then she looked at her grandma. She was sleeping. She thought, I will, this is a future. I will in a little bit, not a long time or soon, I will talk to her. In a little bit then, not far, there was that thing, or it was there. Sounds weird in English, but not far there was that thing. Then she got scared, that girl did. She went to her grandma. She said, "Grandma, something or other has arrived at our place. Here, it's not far now." The old lady, she was grumpy, angry, what have you. I really do like that flush kumtux. We use the word kumtux for so many things. I'll take a moment to comment on that. It can be kind of, to know, to hear, to understand, to remember, and so on. So it's quite elegant just to put the word flush, good, at the beginning of it. I think it makes it really, really clear just that you're understanding well. Tlush kamdaks.
Dave, where does the word cheech come from?
That's a Salish word.
Okay.
That's, yeah, pretty similar in majority of especially Coast Salish languages. Okay, and let's see here. So we've got the next little bit highlighted. And who am I going to volunteer to read this? Is it going to be Sam?
Like Alta Wakelele, ya Alta Yaka Copa Classica Laport, Yaka Jump, Spus Mishlite, Wake Saya Copa Yaka Chich, Yaka Lay Down, Kutamax Yaka, Yaka Wawa Chich, Alta Yaka Copa Nasaika, Yaka Push Saya Yaka, Alta Chaco Halak, Oko Classica Laport. Alta Yaka Hayas Klai, Okok Tanas Kluchman, Okok Yaka Chich, Yaka Push Saya Yaka, Yaka Wawa, Klatwa Saya Micah. So Alta Wake Lele, and now it's not very long time. Alta Yaka Kopa Class Kapot, and she arrived at the door. She jumped. Suppose midlight wake Saya Kopa Yaka in order to be near her grandmother, she lay down with her and said, "Grandmother, now it arrived to us. It's arrived here with us." And Yaka pushed Saya Yaka, like she pushed away her, pushed away. Alta Chaco Halash. So and then now, Halak Ikpui Halak. I guess it's open, Halak. And became, the door opened. And she had a big cry. She cried a big one.
Hayas.
Hayas Klai. Yaka Hayas Klai. We really cried. Screamed. She screamed, sorry. This girl. Her grandmother, she pushed her away and she said, "Go far, you. Get out of here, you."
Yeah, scram you.
Scram.
Alta wake lele, alta yaka kopa saska lapot. Yaka jump, midlight wake saya kopa yaka chich. Yaka lay down kanamax yaka. Yaka wawa. Chich, alta yaka kopa nasaika. Yaka push saya yaka. Alta chaco halak oko klaska lapot. Alta yaka hayas klai okok tennis sluchman. Okok yaka chich yaka push saya yaka. Yaka wawa. Flora saya Micah. So in English, then it wasn't long. Then soon, then it, animate, arrived at their door. She jumped to be near to her grandma. She lay down with her or next to her. She said, "Grandma, now it's arrived at our place." And she pushed her away. Then that door of theirs came open. Then she loudly cried. She screamed. That girl did. And then that grandma of hers, she pushed her away and she said, "Get away, you." Ha. All right. Those are very old notes there. They can go away. And page break. And okay, Laksta Diki Oko number Cinemaxt.
I think
Dennis Biba.
SNASS. Where did SNASS go?
Hey,
Did Rain leave us? No, you were there.
Rain Mega Midlight.
Okay, it's Alta Okok Tennis Kluchman Yaka Kolan Ikta Yaka Hayu Wawa Okok Skukum Pi Kakwa Alta Yaka Wawa Kopa Yaka Chich Alta Alki Naika Patlach Maika Kanawe Okok Hayas Kamas Alki Naika Makmak Okok Tennis Kamas Leli Alta Yaka Wawa Okok Yaka Chich the late Micah Wawa Aha the late Naika Wawa Wake Kansi Wecht Micah Mamuk Kakwa Naika Halo Naika Mamuk Kakwa Wecht Alta Okok Lamiai Yaka Gitup Yaka Iskam Yaka Lakan Yaka Klatawa Yaka Kakshat Mox Time Kopa Okok Skukam Yaka Mamuk Kokshut Kanawe Chako Klimin Okok Lagom Chako Wa Yawa Alto Ko Tennis Klushman Yaka Klon now this girl she hear thing it talking this gukum and again then she talks to her grandmother then now in the future I give you all these big I give you in the future I'll give you the big kamasas in the future I eat these only these small kamas Leili Alta Wawa Leili Alta Yaka then she said to then she said this her grandmother truly you speak aha very truly aha yes very truly I speak we can't see what Micah Mamukakwa Micah we can't see oh I think in fine print there I see never again thank you never again I do that to you I'm sorry I'm having trouble with that sentence there.
Well, it's Micah, it's the other way around, right? So will you never again do like that to me?
Okay.
Do me like that is literal meaning.
No, I won't do the same again. Then this old woman, she got up. She grabbed her basket or can or
La can. So yeah, it's her cane.
oh, sorry. Okay, her cane. Okay, she grabbed her cane, and she went. She Kakshot mux time kopa okok skookum. She hit the skookum twice. She okay. And she hitting again more. Chaco.
Oh, she mama cockshit. Conway.
Sorry.
Yeah, so first she cockshit mux time, right? She hit it twice.
Okay.
And then she mama cockshit Conway. So cockshit can be you know, it can also just be descriptive, you know, broken, busted. So she mama cockshit.
Oh, she destroyed it all?
Yeah.
Okay. Chaco Klimian Okoklagum Chaco Wah Yawa. Klimen went soft. Went soft this pitch.
Or melted, yeah.
Okay. And Chaco.
And here, wach is not barf.
Okay.
Chaco wach. It's similar though, right?
No.
It poured. It became poured.
Oh, it became liquid there?
Yeah. It, you know, like it ran all over the place type thing. Yeah.
Good.
So that's a real nice expression there for liquid running, you know, or something liquefying and running all over the place. Chakawach. Okay. Alta ukuk tana sluchman yaka kolan ekta yaka hayuwawa ukuk skukum. Pikakwa. Alta yaka wawa kupayaka chich. Alta ashke naika patla chmaika kanwi ukuk hayas kamas. Ashke naika makmak ukuk tanas kamas. Lele alta yaka wawa ukuk yaka chich. Dlate maika wawa. Aha, dlate naika wawa. We kanzich wucht maika mamu kakwa naika. Helo naika mamu kakwa wucht. Alta ukuk lamia yaka get up, yaka iskamo yaka lakan, yaka slatwa, yaka kakshit max time kop ukuk kum, yaka mamu kakshit kanui. Chako tlimen ukuk lakom, chako wach yawa. Then that girl, she heard what it was saying or the noise it was making, that monster. We don't ever have a quotation of it actually speaking, you know, but still wawa is to make noises, right? We know this with animals as well, that they wawa. And so then she said to her grandma, Grandma, in the future, I'll give you all of those big camas, and I will eat those small camas. Lele, after a long time, then, okay, and Lele, I can't stress it enough, I think, in terms of reading a story or hearing or telling a story, Lele is not just doesn't just mean a long time or for a long time. It very often does mean after a long time. Then she spoke, that grandma of hers did. Are you telling the truth? Straight, are you talking? Yes, straight I'm talking. I'm telling the truth. Never again? You'll do me like that? I won't do like that again. And then that old lady, she got up, she fetched her cane, she went, she hit 2 times on that monster. She broke it up. And here, all of a sudden, this is real interesting. She broke it up, silent it, inanimate, totally. All of a sudden, it's inanimate in the grammar. And chocolate lemon, it became softer, it melted, that pitch did. Again, inanimate grammar, and it became poured there. Okay, so it ran all over the ground is the idea. And I will put in a little marker because it looks like we are at the top of the hour once again. That was a whole lot of material. I bet some heads are hurting there. And there's quite a bit more, you know. We're about halfway through a pretty long, intricate story, which is something I appreciate about this particular tale. There's a lot more that happens. You guys have the advantage this time that we've worked on it once, and I've put in some footnotes previously, I think over 100 of them. So you've got lots, you know, to study with for our next session working on this. Hayu masu kapakanawe masaika.
I just have a question. Are there any compiled lists of words in Chinook, like where they're sorted into, into high frequency or verbs or nouns?
That's a very good thing to ask about. Let me stop the share here. I don't think exactly. That's a really cool idea. That's a really cool idea, Susan. I like that.
Caitlin actually made a frequency list from the stories that we've done, but it was only a few of them. And so, I mean, it's not like representative of the whole language, I guess.
Okay.
She has made something. She's tried to.
Yeah, short impressionistic take on that from my brain would be most of our stories are themselves lists of frequent words.
Yeah.
Stuff gets reused a lot, you know, the jargon, you know, makes heavy use, creative use too, of like just a relatively few, probably about 100 quote unquote.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If I memorized them, then I'd probably burst with some progress, right? So that's why I was asking, and maybe I'll just compile some myself.
Yeah, and something that I mean, it's long been wanted, you know, is to make a reference, you know, lexicon for each of these stories, right? So you have something right in the document. You could maybe scroll to the bottom and just quickly see the basic meanings, say, of cockshut, you know, and then you'd be able to piece out what, you know, mamo cockshut means. Yeah.
One quick question here, Dave. Will you be mailing something out to us from this session here, or will there be anything mailed this week?
Yeah, I'm going to make at least a few small changes further in it.
Okay. Okay, and I'll send over your list of the participants that were with us today. Then I don't think there's any point in mailing it out to everybody. It's or whatever. So, okay, I guess that's it. It's 9:05. Unless anybody's got anything else to add to make this coming week even more wonderful.
I've been writing. I wrote up all those fairy tales that I was writing for the Cultish Wawa into a book that's about 70 pages long.
Oh, very cool.
And I'm almost done it.
Very cool. Well done.
And will that be in the Chinook Pipa on one side?
So these ones, no. This is just like transliterated Chinook Pipa, but hopefully I'll write it out at some point. This one I've like actually made it up into a book, so I'll probably put it on like Lulu or something, and you could get it if you want. But I'll put it in the Cultish Wawa for free. And
I have not been to the site in a long time, but I remember that. from something. I don't know what is better these days, because a lot of self-publishers now go to Amazon. They make one of these Amazon supported books, but you are the publisher, and apparently it's very good for their electronic books, for the Kindle,
Right.
because then it goes out worldwide. And I checked, everybody who's got a Kindle device can then just get the file.
Yeah, I can put an ebook up too of it, I guess.
Okay, folks, let's go then. Stay well. Lahalia.
Hi, Messi.
You,
Hi.
Ayumasi.
Thank you, Dave.
Alski Nanich.